Anambra State government will stage resolve to protect environment, encourage tree planting. Wife of Anambra State Governor Mrs. Saludo commends women deliberations at August meeting. Nigeria Army reassures on welfare of soldiers. World Health Organization urges countries to increase access to Ebola medicines. Before the news in detail, here is a special message. Governor Chukwuma Soludo has come for a total turnaround and maintenance of the Anambra State economy and promotion of Igbo values. Let's give him maximum support for the task ahead. Good morning. Welcome to the Breakfast News on ABS Television. I am Priska Wonko. Anambra State Governor Professor Chukwuma Soludo says his administration will begin implementation of the state anti-open grazing law next month. Government House correspondent A.G. Kabana reports that Governor Saludo stated this during a meeting with members of Anambra State Cattle Menace Control Committee held at the Government House. His report is taken from here.
According to the governor, though the law has been in existence since almost 1 year, cattle rearers keep parading certain areas in the state in contravention of the law. While applauding members of the committee for their dedication to duty, the governor said that Anambra promotes social harmony with everyone, including cattle rearers, but he made it clear that they must, as other business owners in the state, operate within the existing laws.
Now that we are planting these trees and we plan to be planting 1 million next year too, these palm and coconuts, again, we are targeting to plant another 1 million seedlings next year, in addition to the hundreds of thousands that we are planting now. It becomes almost an emergency now, because people have raised these concerns that in some parts of the state, the cattle are still marauding the farms and bushes and so on, not confined to particular places. And the purpose of this meeting, therefore, is for us to brainstorm together. Let's brainstorm and have a common understanding as to how we must A, continue the social harmony that has existed over these years, ensure that those who rear cattle are free, like any other business, are free to rear their cattle, but also rear their cattle within the ambit of the law.
He explained that because his administration has launched initiatives to encourage tree planting, there is not enough land to accommodate open grazing. The governor pointed out that the initiative was geared towards salvaging the Anambra environment from erosion, which is fast depleting the scarce land, urging them to consider gradual implementation of ranching as a modern way of cattle rearing because of its numerous advantages and money-making potentials.
Anambra is unique. We need all the grasses, we need all the trees and all the shrubs. We need to plant 1 million more every year. But we cannot run the risk of planting them and having them being eaten up by marauding cattle. And therefore it becomes almost an emergency. That's why I have called you. And I want us to brainstorm on this. The anti-open grazing. And I see quite a whole lot of settlements of cattle now, where people, put them in a kind of a ranch. I see quite a large number of them. We now have to find a system to make it a permanent structure that live and let live. Our security agencies.
Governor Chukwuma Soludo says Nigerians have the option of choosing between two Anambra sons in the forthcoming presidential election in 2023. Again, Government House correspondent A.G. Kabana reports that the governor stated this after the Labour Party presidential candidate, Mr. Peter Obi, met him behind closed doors at the Governor's Lodge, Amobia. This report is taken from here.
According to the governor, the All Progressive Grand Alliance APGA has a presidential candidate who should be supported, and explained that as the governor of the state, he also receives candidates from Anambra who are running for elective positions and wish them well. He said during their meeting, they felicitated and had some frank conversations describing him as a friend and a brother. Also speaking, Mr. P2B expressed optimism that Governor Soludo will succeed in Anambra, having demonstrated competence in other endeavors of his life.
Governor Chukwuma Soludo has charged youth to shun entitlement culture and focus on productivity to achieve their potential. Governor Soludo made the call during the third anniversary of Youth Earnestly Seek Solution with a theme, Inclusive Youth Volunteerism and Development, unveiling a policy document and empowerment training program held in Oka. Chukwemeka Modeling takes the story from here.
Governor Soludo, while describing YES as solution to many problems of the youth, commended them for being part of disruptive change which his administration engendered. The governor restated the determination of his administration to build a prosperous, peaceful and livable Anambra State by arresting any form of criminality and building a state with opportunities for all. He said his administration prioritizes youth development as it invests heavily in them and has increased their 2022 revised budget from 500 million naira to 2.5 billion naira.
The support of YES and all the other support groups, sometimes when I reflect on this, it makes me emotional, because there is something disruptive that is happening, or that happened. Something fundamentally different from what it used to be. That a group of people will come together, self-paying organizations. It's new and different. And I dare to say, if I remember, YES happened to be the very first of such support groups that was formed on my deathbed.
On his part, the keynote speaker and former Minister of Aviation, Chief Osita Chidoka, advised the youth to take advantage of the opportunities that are abound before them to become employers of labor rather than job seekers, to guarantee sustainable development of Anambra State and Nigeria at large. Chief Chidoka also urged them to embrace hard work, fear of God, determination, and shun ill-gotten wealth and intimidation of people in order to achieve their dreams.
Seize opportunities. The first thing I want to say today is that there is a new Nigeria that I call Niger that have emerged. The young people of Nigeria have taken over the space. In technology, over $1 billion came to Africa for private equity investment. 700 million found its way to Nigeria. Those white men that invested in Nigeria did not invest in the Nigerian state. They invested in Niger.
In their separate speeches, the Commissioner for Youth Development, Mr. Patrick Ayamba, and the Commissioner for Special Duties, Barrister Salai Ezokenwa, who commended Governor Soludo for proving that leadership of youth must start today by appointing many of them into his administration, enjoined the youth to use the opportunity the governor has placed at their disposal to achieve greater heights and make impact in the society. Earlier, the chairman on the occasion, Mr. Alex Ejesieme, who applauded Governor Soludo for setting the pace in youth empowerment and called on others to emulate him. In his remarks, the convener of Youth Earnestly Seek Solutions, Dr. Nelson Omenora, who is also the special advisor to the governor on youth empowerment, explained that the aim of the group is to join Governor Soludo to solve the problems of the state and empower youth to contribute to nation building, adding that youth advocacy document, Partners in Nation Building, which the youth unveiled at the occasion, is a book of process building.
YES has been demonstrated that politics indeed can be a wholesome endeavor, a patriotic vocation, where one is called for sacrifice, self-interest, in order to advance common goal.
Therefore, in years, we are changing the narrative and mainstreaming the politics of stakeholding, where everyone assumes personal responsibility as partner in nation building, as against selfishness through strategic government and governance process.
The occasion climaxed with the unveiling of the book, Partners in Nation Building. In Oka, it's been Chukwuemeka Modilim, ABS News.
As Anambra women wrap up this year's August meeting, Mrs. Noye Soludo, wife of the governor of Anambra State, has stated that with the nature of issues discussed at different venues of this year's convergence, women have shown the courage to lead the initiative to reform homes and the society. Mrs. Soludo stated this in Oka while assessing the annual women's meeting in Anambra State. Details and more on the story from her.
Prior to this year's August meeting, the governor's wife had met with different women groups from social, cultural, religious, and political circles, where she urged them to use the 2022 August meeting to discuss and seek solutions to the growing moral deficits in homes and society. Mrs. Soludo had explained that she was disturbed by the rising parental complacency in the face of eroding societal values and ethics, and asked mothers to rise and take back their homes. Speaking about her observation of this year's August meeting in Anambra State, Mrs. Soludo said she was proud that Anambra women took her message home, explaining that the process of rebuilding homes requires such inputs. The governor's wife, however, reminded them that it does not end at the points of their discussions, urging them to take the necessary actions and implement the communique of the meetings in their respective homes and societies. Mrs. Soludo, who expressed confidence that mothers are beginning to understand the emerging risks of societal neglect, reassured that her husband, Governor Chukwuma Soludo's plans to fix Anambra State are genuine and passionate.
The managing director of Anambra Broadcasting Service, Sachido Obidiegu, has called on well-meaning in the Anambra, both at home and in the diaspora, to support the station for improved services to the public. Sachido made the call where he led a team of the ABS on a courtesy visit to Nibo-born philanthropist and the two-time President General of Nibo Community, Okasa Local Government Area, Dr. Innocent Akuvwe and his wife, Engineer Betty, in their residence at Nibo. Correspondent Ibano Lokonkwo reports.
The ABSMD explained that the target of Professor Chukwuma Soludo is to enthrone a media organization that is responsibly, professionally, and profitably managed, pointing out that the feat will not be achieved without the help of good-spirited individuals in the state. Sachido commended Dr. Akuvwe on his numerous contributions to the progress and development of Nibo community, calling on him to support ABS in some of the pressing needs, including lack of functional vehicles, generators, among others.
The entire management and staff of ABS consider you one of those that we ought to come to. We are simply here to intimate you with the fact that I have this responsibility now. And there's a charge the governor gave to me to give a media organization that is run responsibly, professionally, and profitably.
Dr. Akuvwe, who is currently the President General, National Shippers Association of Nigeria, and Chairman, Nigerian Society of Chemical Engineers, Rivers and Bayelsa, congratulated Sachido on his recent appointment as the MD of the ABS, describing the appointment as well-deserved. So according to him, the ABS new boss has wealth of experience and skill in media and communication. Dr. Akuvwe, while rating ABS high in reach, information management and dissemination, assured to support the station to see that the vision of the Anambra State Governor, Professor Soludo, is actualized in ABS.
I'm very impressed with what you're doing now, and your predecessor did well. At least got ABS online in various social platforms effectively. We watch it in Bohakot. You understand? So just like you said, taking it to the next level is a task that must be done. And I know you have the wherewithal to do that. Your friends must show that they are truly your friends, because a friend in need is a friend indeed. So I think I'm happy to be associated with ABS. Say that we will do the much we can to support you where we can, and also to see how we can partner with you on the kind of business we do. You understand? Because I was in it might be a way of also bringing our business this way.
In a vote of thanks, as staff of the ABS, Mr. Emeka Keke commended Dr. Akuvue and his wife, Engineer Betty, on their philanthropy, as well as warm reception accorded them during the visit, and prayed God to bless and keep them.
Not thank you enough, but what I would always say is that your water can never run dry in Jesus' name. Amen. Yes, you've been so nice, and man with large hearts, we cannot thank you enough still. Nice that we are going to do long life and prosperity. Amen.
From Nibo in Oka South Council area, I am Emmanuel Okonkwo, reporting for ABS News.
The Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Farouk Yahaya, has said the welfare of soldiers was paramount to encouraging effective service to the nation. Yahaya stated this during the inauguration of the Regimental Sergeant Major's House at the Nigerian Army School of Military Engineering in Makurdi. He declared that he desired to provide a befitting accommodation for RSMs in all the barracks across the country. The Army Chief declared that the RSM rank remained the highest offer soldiers could attain in a unit, adding that this is to encourage soldiers to be hardworking so that they can attain the enviable rank of RSM. The Commandant of NASME, Major General J.D. O'Malley, commended the Chief of Army Staff for providing better welfare for soldiers in the country. LM Tech Hub, a social enterprise with a learning environment, has launched in Oka, the Anambra State capital, courtesy of Chinweze family of Amokwe Village, Oka. The center, according to the founder, Mr. Delibe Chinweze, is a memory of his late sister, Barrister Mrs. Maureen Ovi Okeke, known as Lady Moore, and will provide free 6 months intensive tech training for passionate and exceptional young people in Anambra and beyond, who are eager to exploit the digital world and realize their dream of becoming talented software developers. Joseph Ibocha reports.
Speaking at the official launch of the center, the founder, Mr. Chinweze, explained that advert was done on social media, after which 20 people with competence were eventually selected, adding that aside world-class learning facility, environment and free daily lunch, students who meet performance standard at the center will be rewarded accordingly. In her remark, the director of the center, Mrs. Ngozi Osi Abata, expressed hope that sacrifices made in establishing the center will help in touching lives in more positive ways, adding that LM Tech Hub has a pool of computers, alternative sources of power supply for uninterrupted training exercise, as well as leisure room for comfort with internship and sourcing engagement packages awaiting graduates of the center.
So far, it has been awesome. We got the best of students, and as I speak, even in my dreams, I look forward to coming here to be with them. They are more like my children, and from everything I have seen, I am automatically a mother to them. Once everyone, Anambra State government, the world to know that an Anambra indigenous family has decided to give back, and he's not making any profit out of it, he just wants to touch life.
In their separate comments, the Managing Director of ABS, Sachido Obibiegu, Managing Director of Anambra ICT Agency, Mr. Fred Abata, represented by a staff of the agency, Mr. Tochukwu Ebeku, Special Advisor to Governor Soludo on Youth Empowerment, Dr. Nelson Omenora, expressed joy that young people are taking ICT seriously in the state and commended the private sector for helping to realize the Soludo objective of making Anambra smart, livable and prosperous.
it's important for me to put in perspective that what you're doing here is in tandem with what the government of Anambra State is doing. It's an initiative also that Mr. Governor Professor Chukwuma Charles Soludo has also, started in Anambra State, where there are projects to empower the youth, at least to get basic knowledge of IT. Because IT is the nerve center of whatever you do today in the world, the new world information and communication order. So there is this, there is a synergy between what the governor of Anambra State is doing for Anambra, for the youth of Anambra, and what the Libe, is doing. So I want to urge you to take this, very seriously.
Among other instructors, Mr. Vincent Ilebu promised to give his best to ensure realization of set objectives of the center, while some students, including Mr. Desmond Johnson Egiono, a graduate of Nnamdi Azikiwe University, Awka, Miss Edith Obi, a graduate of Chukwuemeka Odumegwu University, Bariam, and Mr. Joel Anichie, a university admission seeker, expressed joy with the training programs being offered, noting that they will help scale up their skills in ICT. Reverend Father Anthony Dog from St. Francis of Assisi Catholic Church, Awka, dedicated the center to God at the event attended by the Anambra State Commissioner for Transport, Barrister Mrs. Pat Igobike, Head of Political Science Department of Nnamdi Azikiwe University, Awka, Professor Jaja Nwanebu, Permanent Secretary, Anambra State Ministry of Environment, Dr. Emmanuel Udabe, Director of Special Services, Office of the Secretary to the State Government, Mr. Nwabufo Nwankwo, Public Relations and Media Practitioner, Mr. Mike Meze, among others. In Awka, Joseph Ebocha reporting for ABS News.
The World Health Organization, the WHO, has called for countries to improve access to 2 life-saving Ebola medicines in its first guidelines on viral disease. The recommendation follows review and analysis of clinical trials for the monoclonal antibodies and Inmazeb, which have demonstrated clear benefits for people who have tested positive for Ebola, which is often fatal. This includes older persons, pregnant and breastfeeding women, children and newborns whose mothers were confirmed to have Ebola within the first 7 days after birth. The clinical trials were conducted during the Ebola outbreaks. The WHO said the largest trial was carried out in the Democratic Republic of the Congo, demonstrating that the highest level of scientific rigor can be applied even during Ebola outbreaks in difficult contexts. The UN agency also provided recommendations regarding therapeutics that should not be used as treatments, which include ZMapp and Redesivir. The EU guidance, published simultaneously in English and French, will support healthcare providers caring for Ebola patients, as well as policymakers involved in outbreak preparedness and response. The UN agency stands ready to support countries, manufacturers and partners to improve access to the 2 medicines. Sports. The Congress of the Nigerian Football Federation, NFF, at its annual General Assembly has approved September 30th as the date for the staging of the election for the Executive Committee of the soccer body. The election will now take place in Benin City, Edo State. The decision was taken after the president of NFF, Amaju Pinnick, had quashed the plot to impeach him by the highest decision body of the Federation. Remember, you can follow news and program on ABS in many parts of the world, liking our Facebook page at ABS Radio Television. Subscribe to our YouTube page at ABS Television or follow us on Instagram at ABS Radio TV. Log on to our website www.absradiotv.com. To end the news this morning, a recap of the main points. Anambra State government has restated resolve to protect environment and encourage tree planting. Wife of Anambra State Governor Mrs. Soludo has commended women on deliberations at August meeting. Nigerian Army has reassured on welfare of soldiers. World Health Organization has urged countries to increase access to Ebola medicines. And here is the special message. Governor Chukwuma Soludo has come for a total turnaround and maintenance of the Anambra State economy and promotion of core Igbo values. Let's give him maximum support for the task ahead. That's it on the breakfast news at this time on ABS Television. Thanks for watching. My name is Priska Wanko. Good morning. Oko.